Good morning. I woke up to realize that it seems CBS CID has manually blocked my video on the Star Trek Picard trailer. They felt that it's their content and they should own our reaction to it and our breakdown of the trailer. I disagree. I believe in fair use, and so they blocked the video across worldwide. And here's the claim. I guess maybe they didn't like what we had to say about it. So I'm going to go ahead and re-edit the video without the trailer playing, which most companies have no problem with. Video game companies don't care. I want to give credit to surprisingly Paramount, which I think has done Star Trek in the past, which released all their claims. So some movie companies are getting it, but other movie companies and other companies don't get it. Maybe because we weren't positive enough, and they don't want any damage whatsoever done or any doubt that this is going to be the greatest series of all time. I don't know, but I think we're well within fair use in order to use it, especially when the claim type is audio and not visual. The claim here audio. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and re-upload this video only without the trailer and, playing in the bottom. And, thank you guys for watching this again. And if you haven't seen it, please enjoy. And, I hope it doesn't get claimed. If CBS claims it, I will be really surprised, and we'll all know that they're essentially fucking dicks. And I'll definitely fight it. So here's the re-edited video courtesy of CBS All Access, which I'm going to pay for. Assholes. Captain's log, stardate 2019, 7/22. The Star Trek Picard trailer is out. I got my number one here, who is a huge Star Trek buff, knows a lot about it. Joe, on the other hand,
No.
OJ doesn't know anything about Star Trek, but he did like season 1 of Discovery. He has not yet seen season 2, and so he'll join us after we actually take a look at this trailer. Let us make sure it is good for consumption before we share it with our other friends, because we are the Star Trek nerds here, as you can clearly see. So
you didn't buy this from me. I owned this already.
That's true. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. What the kid? I can see that, Captain. I love Data. Come on. Don't you say anything bad.
No, I love Data. I love TNG is like absolutely one of my favorite series. Like non like sequential. It's like where you can just like pick up and go, and it's so amazing. But the thing that worries me and always worried me with the second they announced this is TNG was perfect.
Yeah.
Save season 1. Like TNG, and even then, like going back, I still enjoy season 1.
Well, I think people thought it was too rough till season 3.
Oh, for sure. It took a while for the show to grow a beard, and it eventually did, and then I loved it. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want them to put out something that they half-ass. It doesn't look like they have, and I don't want them to put out something where they don't do the things that I want them to do. And actually, there's some interesting things to kind of like unwrap here. Like we've got detention centers, you've got the Borgs, you've got the space fascists, you've got all sorts of things. And one of the things that Patrick Stewart said is he wanted a reason to come back, and he wanted to like tell a different story. And there's a lot that could be linking. And so the other thing I don't want them to do is I want them to have a message, because they always had a message, and I want them to give their insight on things. But they always were really careful to like show an issue and not preach and not try to be biased. And so as long as they keep that, I think I'm going to love it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you right away, there's a lot of danger in this series because you're messing around with my favorite captain. Okay, but at this point in his life, Sir Patrick Stewart has experience with the character, and he has even started putting input into the scripts and the story and stuff. And so that encourages me. It kind of, to me, they are one and the same. John Luke and obviously Patrick Stewart, but. So I'm okay with kind of exploring something different. This is not TNG. If we go in with the expectation that it's TNG, I think we're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
To me, this looks a little darker. This kind of reminds me a little bit of Discovery, and that's good in some ways and bad in others.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry, but I like Discovery, okay? I haven't finished the second season, and I canceled my CBS All Access, so apparently I didn't like it enough, right? Because it only had one show. I wasn't going to keep paying for that, and I wasn't really that excited about the trailer for Season 2 of Discovery. But I think after seeing Star Trek Picard and seeing the, let me go back over here, some of the other things they showed at the panel. They talked about Star Trek. What I'm trying to say is it's a good time to be a Star Trek fan right now, okay? Star Wars is getting all the love. I want to see some love for Star Trek, and I want to see Star Trek done correctly. And I'm hoping that Picard can do that for us. And I also want to see Star Trek done in different ways. There were rumors of what? Quentin Tarantino kind of wanting to do a Star Trek thing. There was an announcement at this Comic-Con of Star Trek The Lower Decks.
Yeah.
This is it looks like an animated series, kind of cheap, weird,
it looks like a
looking
shot
animation.
at what's his name from the
Orville?
guy that Orville. It's like, hey, we could be funny too.
Yeah.
You're doing Star Trek better than we're doing Star Trek, so we're gonna go back to we better do it.
Get a response to that. It kind of seems like a response to that.
Yeah.
I think O'Connell is in it. Jerry
Connell. Yeah,
Jerry Connell. So they're going to go with a comedy series of, supporting cast, what it's like to be a supporting ship. It's a California-class ship. They say it's unimportant. In fact, the name of the ship is so weird. So I forget what the name of the ship is, but it doesn't matter. So we're getting a lot of Star Trek. Now, obviously, so with those three things and with CBS All Access is doing like a Twilight Zone, I might re-up. After seeing this, once this comes out, you can definitely count on me re-upping, and you can use my account if you want. Yeah. All right, so let's go look at the trailer here.
Yeah.
So we start in the vineyard.
Yeah.
This is what he always wanted.
Chateau Picard.
He's always wanted this, and he got it. And basically, I suppose
he deserved it.
He retired, right? I mean, he's lived
several
fleets.
lifetimes. Remember, he was like he's done all the things he wanted to do. He's been tortured. He deserves to retire and do
Yeah, exactly. They're all full lights. Now, so the communicator is from the movies. This is something I picked out. It's not the TNG communicator. So it's just kind of, I don't know, all alluding to the fact that this is all after Insurgency. This is after Nemesis. We are continuing the main timeline, and that is what's most exciting. And obviously, also, Picard in it is also the most exciting thing. But here's the thing. I did not expect them to bring back some of these original cast members so quickly. But I'm happy that they do. Now, they might be cameos, guys. They are not regular reoccurring characters. Don't get too excited about 7 of 9 there at the end and Brent here as Data. But what I'm hoping is that the series does well enough that in Season 2, they might morph it into what we want, where we get the crew, some of the crew, the more popular people.
Do you really want multiple seasons? Like, one thing that would make me happy is if they're like, look, we're going to make 10 episodes. This is the story. This is how we want it to develop. And then I want to tell the story from beginning to the end, and then it's done. And I don't need you to stretch something out and milk it because, again, this was something that I loved. I loved to the point where I made Erica watch all of them. And towards the end, I didn't have to make her. She was like sitting there watching all because she loved all these things.
I want to go there to watch Star Trek. That's nice.
So it's something that's important to me, and I don't want them to do what I see that other series do. Stranger Things season 1, amazing, and then it gets a little bit worse, and then it gets a little bit worse. Like, how long are they going to stretch that out before I just go like the magic?
So having an unconfirmed number of seasons for Star Trek Picard scares you.
Yeah.
If they would have come out and announced that this is a 10-episode miniseries, almost like 10 little movies, then that. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I really hope that the showrunners have a direction. for the Picard character, do you know how you're going to conclude his story?
Yeah.
If how dare you pick his story back up without knowing how it ends?
Yeah, and if the rumors are true that he wanted to tell a specific story based on things that are happening now and bring it to light in the show, then say, look, this is how we're going to do it, and we're not going to stretch it out over.
So we'll talk about that later, about current events and social this and all that stuff that's going on. But I want to talk a little bit about Brent coming back as Data. He's here towards the end. So here's the thing. He obviously Data cannot age. Data is an android. Here you can tell he's aged.
Well, yeah.
How are they going to deal with that? I was thinking that maybe this isn't Data. Obviously, Data exploded and sacrificed himself. This is before, so maybe that wacky sort of persona, the inferior version of Data. And then remember at the end of the movie, he's like humming the song, and so maybe Data will return. So maybe before that android ages or something. Number one, how can Data come back? It's either before or Lore, his brother.
Yeah, I mean,
and remember they decommissioned Lore, and then maybe they put Data's personality into it, and there could be a really interesting thing that Data can play not only himself but Lore in the same character. That could be potentially interesting to do with his character.
I mean, as far as how he looks and the fact that he ages, I'm sure hopefully they do the kind of graceful thing, and that's something that Star Trek has always done to its strength, where they purposely never explain things. They never go, this is how the science works, because then people are like, well, actually. And then they get upset about it. They're just going, oh, it happened. And they'll just kind of ignore it and sweep it under the rug. And you'll just have to say, look, if you want him back, which we all do, we all want him back, you're going to have to get over the fact that he's a little older and just ignore those things.
Well, so you do not want an explanation. I actually do want an explanation because of the fact that Star Trek loves to be very close to reality, and they feel like the fans might be asking those questions, so let's have an answer ready. Whether they put it in the show or not, we'll see. Do you think they just pull out Data for one episode? Data gives him some advice, and then Jean-Luc Picard takes off and he goes on.
Well, based on like the things that we've seen, like he's going back against the you see a Borg cube, right? And maybe there's something. It's like, look, we need more information. We need the resource that has the most information on what happened. Is if he's going back in. So if he's going on, he's in a ship at the end that's not a Starfleet ship. It looks like it's just a vessel, just some random private thing, and if he's going out on a little rogue mission.
Okay, we're jumping around here. I'm trying to give it a little structure. So he's wearing his badge here, but like you said, it doesn't seem like he's a part of Starfleet.
No, not at all.
It seems like a covert mission because she comes to him requesting help.
Yeah.
Now, we did a little bit of reading beforehand. This character here has something to do with the Borg. They're doing some like de-assimilating people, or maybe a new strain of Borg, or we don't know. But that's how kind of 7 of 9 fits in towards the end. I watched the panel. Yep. They also have who is the Borg that they met?
Oh yeah,
the unique Borg, Hugh.
Yeah.
Hugh. So he is in the series, and he came out in the panel. So it has to do definitely with the Borg. I think this is after she comes to him for help. He goes to Starfleet and says, "Look, we got to help this girl."
Yeah.
Something happens. There's some conspiracy going on here. She's under attack by these guys, which I don't know. These suits look kind of cheap, weird looking. I think that's Picard over there. So she's kicking ass. He realizes she's normal. She's no normal person. She's got some kind of powers, and he's like, and it's one adventure for him to sort of discover. And like you said, when he boards a starship, okay, so these here are Romulans. Okay, so I guess they got a new Romulan warbird. I really like the old design, but things must evolve and change. So, and I have no idea what they're doing with this planet. Perhaps a new planet for them. This again, it looks like it's going to have to do with the Romulans experimentations on Borg or de-assimilation. You see, this facility has gone without an assimilation. We got Romulan guards. So either the Romulans are picking apart Borg technology to make themselves more powerful.
That was the actress in the prison right there. That was the one. Yeah, that's her right there.
Okay.
So she was a prisoner of some sort. She probably escapes.
Oh, shit. Yep. So we've got our storyline. The Romulans are doing something. This is going to be a new member of his crew. This also new member of his crew. And what do you think of this sword-wielding, katana-wielding Romulan/Vulcan? We don't really know yet.
I don't know.
We probably do, but I haven't looked that part up. But here's his crew, man.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with these. These poor actors and actresses, they have an impossible job living up to the original crew surrounding Jean-Luc Picard. So they're fucked either way. The best they can do is just do a good performance. And, you know, as we get cameos, because it was announced that Jonathan Frakes is coming back, and we also have Troy is coming back. So, hell, I hope Geordie LaForge too eventually.
Yes.
But yeah, it looks like it's
I don't
covert Black Ops mission that he's on. He's 80, 90 years old going on a Black Ops mission to help him out.
See, I don't mind them bringing back the original cast. It's not that I don't want to see them, right? But I don't want to cheapen them.
Full lights. Oh,
no, there's more than that.
Yeah.
And so I don't want them to be like, hey, you remember this guy? His name's Worf. It's really cool. You remember? You remember that guy?
You remember?
Hey, we don't get points for that? Didn't make this episode really good. I know we didn't write it really well, but we brought him back.
No, so I take the other stance where it's like if we actually are extending the real timeline and we're getting more stories within the real timeline, it's totally fair for them to be like, here's what Worf is doing.
As long as it's not cheap. I don't want them to go, oh, this is he just walks into the screen and it's not important.
And where's Dr. Crusher? Maybe we'll figure out what's going on with that.
With him,
With what happened? She doesn't seem to be there on his vineyard.
I haven't seen any announcements about Gates McFadden's involvement at all.
Right.
But
and we need to figure out
Russell
Wesley. Somebody needs to talk to Will Wheaton and see if he's going to be a part of it. Shut up, Wesley. But yeah, no, you could see these new Romulan ships around the Borg cube.
And
so
blue Borg cube.
Sort of like hollowed out looking. So I think the Romulans are definitely experimenting with Borg technology.
Yeah.
Question is, where are the Borg? How are they experimenting when the Borg not being like, you will be assimilated?
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Don't take our tech. That has me fascinated. And then, of course, 7 of 9. Tea?
No.
Earl Grey?
You don't look like tea.
Tea? Berman, he switched to harder stuff recently.
Yeah.
It's cool to see her come back. I really enjoyed her character in Voyager, and to see Voyager characters interacting with Picard. I think Picard actually, you know, I really like Janeway as a captain. I think he's only said like one line to her. So it's cool to see Voyager people interacting with my favorite captain, Picard. Oh, my God. It's Eric Bana. It's the timelines are crossing. No, I'm just kidding. It's
same facial.
Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, but we get engaged. I am really looking forward to it, guys. I'm so scared
about it.
So the trailer doesn't put any of my fears to rest.
None.
However, it does look like they're putting money into it, effort into it, but it's so important. What story do you want to tell, and do you know where you're going with it, and is it a story that's going to resonate with us?
There are some things in here that have me like really worried. There's a chalkboard in a prison that looked kind of cheap. There was a couple things that it's like, well, are you guys really going all out and actually putting the effort into the show? There's a scene where the two guys are arresting the chick, and you just see L.A. You just see L.A. in the background. Like go a couple seconds further. Like that's you just see LA back there. It's just like there's just normal AC units on the top, and this is supposed to be. When is this?
No,
this is 2019. He lives in 2019.
You're right. Well, that's what I was saying. This kind of looks a little cheap looking.
This could be any action movie coming out this year. This isn't Star Trek.
I agree with you. What I'll give you is that Discovery. You got to hand it to Discovery. It looks so expensive. It looks so high production. If you've been watching some of the recent episodes, you would be your pants.
Does it feel like
will
Star
be
Trek
knocked
yet?
off. No, but
oh well, then yeah, okay.
Hopefully they're getting there. Apparently they're being launched 1,000 years into the future for season 3. I don't know. What I'm actually excited about, and they alluded to, is there's so much Star Trek. We got Lower Decks, Picard, season 3, but people are kind of murmuring about, hey, could we get a series of Captain Pike and Spock?
Yeah.
Now that they've got because that guy is very charismatic and people really like his style of captaining when he showed up in season 2. That would be fucking cool if they could do a spinoff series there. And then don't do what these are doing where they're not individual self-contained episodes. Picard, by the way, is not going to be like that. It's serialized. It's going to be like an actual storyline. And they kept talking about how this format, the format that they use in Discovery, allows characters to build and change. I'm like, that's kind of crap. Characters can build and change in the TNG format.
Yeah, they grew beards and stuff.
Yeah. So
Sometimes you'd watch and go, oh, where'd that beard come from?
I don't know. So here's what the trailer did. Got me to purchase. Okay, I'm gonna join CBS All Access again in 2020. Let all my friends use my password.
I'll just watch it here.
Yeah, and we'll probably bring you a review of it. And maybe
I'm so mad. People think I'm hard on like random crappy movies. If this isn't good, or if this is just like pretty good, I'm gonna give this like a 2. Because it means something to me.
Yeah,
I don't want them to just like half-ass something.
Don't bring him back.
Yeah.
My concern, they're going to bring him back. Do you think they're... The political climate is so different these days. But here's, diversity, female leads, female supporting characters piss off the internet a lot these days.
Yeah.
But in Star Trek, that's always been.
I don't think that's what's going to piss people off. If we're
the
talking
fact that
about,
you've got this girl here instead of why is she a girl and not a guy?
No, I think
No.
if anyone's going to get mad, it's going to be about the way that they treat prisoners, and they're going to go into like the detention aspect, and I think they'll go into that. And if it does piss people off, they'll be like, oh well, if they didn't want to be assimilated, they shouldn't have come here.
Yeah. We'll see. Star Trek has always had diverse cast, diverse characters,
And super progressive storylines, and they
and
like
very
to.
progressive, so-
But they didn't. They never got too preachy. Like they showed information.
I'm worried that this one's going to go too preachy
I worry
because
too.
the way they're talking about how Picard. What does Picard care about? There's the political climate today. They were the ones talking about
I
it first.
know.
That stuff scares me. We get any references to Trump. We get any references to
Leave
this
it
kind
out of Star
stuff,
Trek.
That's going to concern me. No, not necessarily modern politics, right?
Yeah, leave it out. There's already
But there
space
are-
fascists. You got the Cardassians,
Yeah.
we got Romulans. We got all these like interesting bad guys with set political systems that you can say that you like or that you don't like,
Right.
and you can write good stories, using them. But you
Yeah.
don't need to like make stuff up because it's like, well, I don't like this political party.
Exactly. So I hope that stuff isn't a part of Star Trek Picard, but it can still tackle diverse issues and progressive issues without sort of alluding to modern times and modern politics, which is kind of what they were talking about in the panel. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. And yeah, so those are our thoughts of Star Trek Picard. I'm excited for it, but still very, very worried because now you're messing with something that really important to us. So treat it with respect, okay? All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. Tell us what you think in the comments. Do you think they're going to fuck it up? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think that they're just going to do endless seasons if it's popular? Here's my prediction. It's not a limited series. They'll do as many of them as it's popular, but it'll get more and more exciting because in season 2 he's gonna get his own ship and it's gonna be a fucking more like the bridge on the Enterprise. It's gonna be more, and then maybe they're building to the big thing where he gets a Galaxy class again or something. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I know, but I want it. So in season 2 or season 3. But I hope, like you said, that they have an arc.
They know what they want to do.
We want to do 3 seasons only, and he ends right here, and
Or one
this
season.
and this is where it is.
10 episodes.
Ain't gonna be 1 season, 10 episodes.
Really
All right.
well written, and that's it. That's what I want.
We'll see. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's our opinion. Leave yours down below, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.
That, Picard finds out that the Romulans have either weaponized, they've something with the Borg, right? So they're doing something, and it could be Manchurian candidates, it could be something, and then someone escapes. We see a picture of her. She escapes. She comes out, and then she finds him, and then he knows that for some reason Starfleet won't do anything about it. The Romulans are now our allies. It doesn't matter that they're doing horrible shit, but that means something to him, and so he gets his new crew, people that are willing to violate all the intergalactic laws, and then
I'll even throw in a spicy bit that not Starfleet doesn't want to get involved, not only because of the treaties and all that stuff, but maybe they're involved too.
Oh yeah,
they want a piece of that Borg technology too, and so they're staying quiet about it, and they're not going to approve Picard to go and investigate.
Yeah.
Number one, because they'd be like, "You're old, you're retired, don't worry, everything's fine," and he's like, everything isn't fine, because he notices what happens next. They try to fucking kill her.
Yeah, and so if he goes out, sets up a crew, and then goes out and tries to rescue it, there's not a whole lot of conclusions that you can have. I mean, yes, he could just be successful. They could blow up the detention center, and then they, go sail off into the sunset. Or it could be, it's like he's old, and he's like, look, someone's got to hit the button. I'll stay behind, and I'll do the Picard thing.
You think it's going to culminate?
I just don't want them to drag it out for a couple years. If you have a story, if you have a good story, you tell that story, and you don't need to stretch it out, because when you start to milk things for every penny that it's worth, is what Star Trek kind of become. They just make stuff now, and it doesn't feel like I don't know if they're just trying different things, or they're just not trying as hard as they used to. It feels like they're just not trying as hard, and I don't want that for this.
Yeah,
some of these characters, even if they're just cameos, the characters mean something to me, and I don't want to see them just be, oh hey, look, it's Geordi, cool.
Well, I disagree in with all that, because I want to see where these characters are in the universe, afterwards. But I totally agree with what you're saying, is that this better go somewhere, and it seems like the only way it could go is Picard's death.
Yeah,
and when you think about it like that, you're like, oh fuck, that kind of sucks.
You just have to
they fucked up James
yourself.
T. Kirk's death in Generations. In my opinion, they fucked that shit up. And please don't fuck up Picard's death, because I will destroy you. This guy is fucking, what do you call it when you spread your legs in the captain's chair?
What, man-spreading?
Man-spreading. And it should be Captain Picard sitting there.
But he's on a private vessel, and maybe he's just, that's the captain of this little private vessel, and that's, I don't know.
That bridge looks so weird, so different to what we're used to. It's going to be a smaller thing. But yeah, so I think we have successfully predicted the storyline here, and stuff we forgot. Romulans are messing with Borg technology. Prisoner escapes from one of those facilities. She asks Picard, because number one, he was Locutus of Borg.
Yep.
He has a bunch of friends that can help out. He goes to Starfleet. They say no, everything's fine, or they're in on it and they don't want to tell him.
Or they could even sort of sanction it. It's look, sure, we're gonna admit that this is happening, but we can't do anything about it. Our hands are tied. So what are you gonna do about it?
So he's gonna go and do something about it. And towards the end of the series, Picard makes the ultimate sacrifice to prevent the Romulans from becoming this new Borg breed, or taking over the galaxy with Borg technology, and maybe opening the door. Will we see species something 5, 8, 6, 9? Some help me out, chat. Because they kicked the Borg's ass. Will we be seeing other threats? But it seems like we're not boldly going where no one's ever gone before. We're on a secret Black Ops mission with a very finite end goal here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Star Trek. It feels like an interesting story that could be really good.
And the fact that this isn't really going to be Star Trek. It's going to be Star Trek characters filmed and shown in a new way, with a very specific storyline and very specific purpose. And it's probably not what Star Trek fans have been waiting for.
No, not at all. I mean, the problem with this, and it's like what I was mentioning earlier. It's like you can write a really good story and say, look, these are the characters that I want in there, but I'm gonna have my own completely unique take on them. And fans are like, no, but I wanted more of what I had before, and you're just putting characters from what they had before in something that is, I don't even know what show this is, or what what universe this kind of thing takes place. I mean, they're gonna go on on a galactic jailbreak. It seems like, and I don't feel
It's
like
a heist movie.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Star
With
Trek.
Picard. We'll see. Guys, tell me what you think. But I wanted to show that I think we've nailed the what the storyline is going to be. You heard it here first. All right, guys. See you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.